Please, order in the hall. Please, order in the hall.
They walking out. They don't even want to hear Netanyahu talk. All those lies he about to spew.
Please.
The families of our dear hostages languishing in the dungeons of Gaza.
You're bombing them?
Ladies and gentlemen, last year, I stood at this podium and I showed this map. This map. It shows the curse of Iran's terror axis. This axis threatened the peace of the entire world. It threatened the stability of our region and the very existence of my country, Israel. Iran was rapidly developing a massive nuclear weapons program and a massive ballistic missile program. These were meant not only to destroy Israel, they were meant also to threaten the United States and blackmail nations everywhere. From Gaza, Yahya Sinwar dispatched waves of Hamas terrorists. They stormed into Israel on October 7th and committed acts of unspeakable savagery. From Lebanon, Hassan Nasrallah had launched thousands of missiles and rockets at our cities, terrorizing our citizens. In Syria, the murderous dictator Assad hosted Iran's forces, tightening a noose of death around our throats. In Yemen, the Houthis launched ballistic missiles at Israel while choking global trade at the mouth of the Red Sea. So what's happened over the past year? We've hammered the Houthis, including yesterday.
Yo, they scared as hell. You see the Israeli people, like, they don't know what's going to come out. A shoe, anything could happen.
We crushed the bulk of Hamas's terror machine. We crippled Hezbollah, taking out most of its leaders and much of its weapons arsenal. You remember those beepers, the pagers? We paged Hezbollah. And believe me, they got the message. And thousands of terrorists.
He just tried to make a joke. I don't have no problem with that attack. They paged Hezbollah. They got the message. Ha, 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 cool. What about the people in Palestine that you're bombing, that you're mass murdering, all in the sake of getting Hamas? It's been damn near 2 years. 2 years.
Thousands of terrorists dropped to the ground. We destroyed Assad's armaments in Syria. We deterred Iran's Shiite militias in Iraq. And most importantly, and above anything else that I could say to you or that we did in this past year, in this past decade, we devastated Iran's atomic weapons and ballistic missiles programs.
Even though y'all have
here's where
nukes.
Things stand today. Half the Houthi leadership in Yemen, gone. Yahya Sinwar in Gaza, gone. Hassan Nasrallah in Lebanon, gone. The Assad regime in Syria, gone. Those militias in Iraq, well, they're still deterred. And their leaders, if they attack Israel, will also be gone. And for Iran's top military commanders and his top atomic bomb scientists, well, they're gone too.
If y'all look at this and y'all believe this good versus evil thing, then you're a child and you need to grow up. This ain't a Disney movie where it's the obvious bad guy and the obvious good guys. If you think all these countries are against this country, if you think all these countries were against the U.S. before, or that Osama bin Laden ain't do nothing, like, it was stupid. We interfere in the Middle East and we got attacked. They wanted to bankrupt us. Now Israel is causing us to damn near go back into another war. We should never have been in Iraq. They never had weapons of mass destruction. They lied to us in order for us to say, okay, go in. Because, the Twin Towers, man, that was bad. But if they got weapons of mass destruction, that means they could come back and do more. Go get them. That was the only way they could trick us into getting it. It wasn't 2025 where we could see and have news reporters out there and be like, yo, it ain't no weapons of mass destruction. They lying to us. They just want the oil.
President Trump and I promised to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons, and we delivered on that promise.
President Trump and I.
We removed an existential threat to Israel rather, and a mortal threat to the civilized world.
That was a Freudian slip. We removed the threat, existential threat to Iran. I mean, Israel. Yeah, you know, you're the threat.
We lifted a dark cloud that could
Iran is bad too. All these country leaderships are bad, not the people. You think the people in Iran bad? The people of Israel are bad? No. But Netanyahu is trying to stay out of jail.
Millions and millions of lives. But, ladies and gentlemen, we must remain vigilant. We must remain absolutely clear-minded and vigilant. We must not allow Iran to rebuild its military nuclear capacities. Iran's stockpiles of enriched uranium, these stockpiles must be eliminated. Well, I'll tell you, you can remember October 7th too. You see this large pin here? It's a QR code. What I ask you to do is hold up your phones.
He going, don't do that. The Messiah going to tap your phone.
Zoom in, and you too will see why we fight and why we must win.
But they're going to have some pictures. Remember October 7th? Well, what about January 1st to October 6th of that year? What about October 8th till December 31st? Was the Gazan people okay? Like, why is it such a... Any people that are suppressed and put down and have no control over their government. The United States was born because they were trying to tax the tea. And they were telling the king, yeah, listen, we don't mind paying tax, but can't we have some representation up there? And they were like, nah. And they were like, fuck it, it's up then. No taxation without representation. The people in Gaza are controlled by the Israelis, but they can't be a part of the Israeli government. So they're being controlled by a government that they can't even vote. Did you see? What type of man worth his fucking salt that's in his body? What type of man who has a family, who want to see them grow up? What type of man would put up with that? Every rebellion throughout history has been because there's been some men and women felt like you got your foot on their neck and they can't breathe. So they respond. So he want to act like they had no reason. Yeah, it's terrible, but what the fuck were you doing to them? What people since the 1940s, 1950s been suppressed and kept in a small little box, can't even see their family members because they live in the West Bank and they separated. What are you talking about? I'm surprised it took them that long. There's been wars before. Now you want to make it seem like this one's so bad. And of the 1,200 is like 800 deaths really. And the other 300 or 400 came because the IDF killed their own people. They don't tell you that. They don't say, 1,200 and 800 people were killed, and the other 300 to 400 was killed by IDF soldiers.
It's all in here.
But it's all sad.
Grandchildren. Hamas does. So far, we've brought home 207 of these hostages, but 48 still remain in the dungeons of Gaza. 20 of them are alive, starved, tortured, deprived of any daylight.
And those people should be brought home, the bodies and those people. Now, why would you think Hamas don't want to do that? So they can say, look, we let go of the hostages, we send them all. We ain't got nothing. They still bombing the people, starving them. Because some of them still being paid by Netanyahu. Remember, Netanyahu, if you don't know your history, he wanted Hamas in power. He said he could control the height of the flame, meaning that he could control Hamas and they were evil, but, he could keep them at bay. I guess you couldn't.
Deprived of humanity, brave. Maxim Herkin, Eitan Hond, Segev Kalfon, Bar Cooperstein, עמרי מירן, איתן מור, יוסף חיים אוחנה, אלון אוהל, אבינתם אור, and Matan Sengalker. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to do something I've never done before. I want to speak from this forum directly to those hostages through loudspeakers. I've surrounded Gaza with massive loudspeakers connected to this microphone in the hope that our dear hostages will hear my message. And I'll say it first in Hebrew and then in English. אחינו הגיבורים, מדבר ראש הממשלה בנימין נתניהו. אני פונה עליכם מעל בימת האו"ם. לא שכחנו אתכם, אפילו לא לשנייה. העם כולו איתכם, ואנחנו לא נשקוט ולא נרפה עד שנחזיר את כולכם הביתה. החיים והחללים כאחד.
I say it in English.
Our brave heroes. This is Prime Minister Netanyahu speaking to you live from the United Nations. We have not forgotten you, not even for a second. The people of Israel are with you. We will not falter and we will not rest until we bring all of you home.
Dead or alive. This would be so nice if these politicians meant what the fuck they were saying.
Down. Ladies and gentlemen, if Hamas agrees to our demands, the war could end right now. Gaza would be demilitarized, Israel would retain overriding security control, and a peaceful civilian authority would be established by Gazans and others committed to peace with Israel.
So Israel still controls everything, huh?
You understand that the war in Gaza has affected every Israeli. But I'm sure there are people in New York or in London or in Melbourne and elsewhere who are probably thinking, what does all of this have to do with me? And the answer is everything. Because our enemies are your enemies.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Let's do something else. So first at the UN, let's do a pop quiz. And raise your hand if you know the answer. Here's the first question. Who shouts death to America? Is it A, Iran, B, Hamas, C, Hezbollah, D, the Houthis, or E, all of the above?
It's all of the above, but why do they shout that? Because we interfere in their goddamn business and we had countless wars. The moment they get a leader that we don't like, we fucking assassinate him. There's a reason, there's a cause and effect. But let's hear his lies.
All of the above. Correct. All of the above. Second question. Who has murdered Americans and Europeans in cold blood? Is it A, Al-Qaeda, B, Hamas, C, Hezbollah, D, Iran, or E, all of the above?
It's E, all of the above, and to include Israel. They have hit our ships. They have murdered Americans and Europeans. Assassinated them, in fact. But go.
Correct. Again. So here's the point I wanted to make. Our enemies hate all of us with equal venom.
And they should.
They want to drag the modern world back to the past.
Boy, if you do some history on the U.S.-Israel relationship or the U.S. and the Middle East, Vietnam, whatever, we've been some treacherous motherfucker. We've been putting people down, and it's been like, oh, America way or the highway. Are you kidding me? You telling me there's no reason? Come on.
To a dark age of violence, fanatic.
And America created all half those groups. Bin Laden, whoever you want to call, we train these people to go against other people, and then they turn against us because we're doing something too. We'll train them. We'll train Osama bin Laden to go after Russia and to trick them into a war, and then he uses powers on us. We literally create them and train them. The West, they're trained. That's how they come and become so smart and so organized.
Criticism and terror. The President of the United States, not once, but twice, he showed them there is a price to pay for all that.
What? He said.
President Trump understands better than any other leader that Israel and America face a common threat. He showed the world that when Iran and its proxies murder Americans, take Americans hostage, shout death to America, burn American flags, and try to assassinate the President of the United States, not one.
Did they just blame the attempted assassination on Trump by Hamas and Iran? Oh, God.
Just imagine.
It probably, never mind.
Just sit back for a second and imagine. An attack against America proportioned to the attack against Israel on October 7th. Imagine a regime, a terror regime, dispatching thousands of terrorists to invade the United States. They massacre 40,000 Americans. They take 10,000 Americans hostage. What do you think America would do? You think America would leave that regime standing?
That's not even a real question. Who gonna take? What they gonna be in America doing this? They're gonna fucking cross an ocean with the 10,000 people? That's stupid.
Your gates. When we realize hook, line, and sinker. Now, despite Hamas's threats, close to 700,000 Gazans, almost 750,000, have already heeded our calls and moved to safe zones. Now I want to ask you a simple question.
You bombed those safe zones.
A simple, logical question. Would a country committing genocide plead with the civilian population it is supposedly targeting to get out of harm's way?
Yes.
Would we tell them, get out?
You know how many kids have been killed in those safe zones? How many kids have been killed going to where Israel dropped some food off? They said that the Israeli snipers are like playing with the kids and the people. They'll shoot them. They'll like pick a different spot to shoot them each day. Like a bunch of kids will come in with wounds to the right knee or a wound to the left arm. Like they're purposely doing shit like that. Yes, they would drop leaflets. What does that mean? We dropped leaflets in Japan before we dropped fucking nukes.
If we want to commit genocide?
Yes, to make it look like something. We dropped it. We dropped the pamphlet 2 minutes before we dropped the bomb. So I'm in my house. I'm a Palestinian, and we go into bed. They drop a leaflet outside. Oh, it really woke us up.
Them out. And Hamas is trying to keep them in.
Okay.
And this charge is so baseless. The comparison to genocide, wholesale slaughter of populations. What, did the Nazis ask the Jews to leave, kindly leave, go out? Did others, you want me to name all the genocidal leaders of history? Just go one by one. Did anyone do this? Did they say, get out so we can come in? Of course not.
So y'all learned the new trick because y'all got social media. So y'all got like, we're not letting no people in. We just got to tell them we dropped some leaflets. Come on. You try to play that game.
Hamas is stealing it. Hamas steals it, hoards it, and sells it at exorbitant prices to fight its war machine. Last month, even the UN, not exactly a supporter of Israel. You're supposed to laugh, by the way. Last month, even the UN admitted that Hamas and other armed groups looted 85% of the trucks. That's why you have deprivation. Those who
so y'all gonna keep dropping them off at places that Hamas is taking them, huh? So the Palestinian people, they fear Hamas and they taking their food, and then they gotta fear Israel that's dropping bombs on them. So there's people out there hopeless and fear for their fucking life, praying to God that Hamas or the Israelis don't find them. So nobody's there for the people, huh?
The blood libels of genocide stops. They threw candies. That's both in Gaza and in Judea, Samaria, the West Bank, as you call it. And it's just the way they celebrated another horror, 9/11.
Like y'all did?
They danced on the rooftops. They cheered. They threw
Yo, if you know history, you know how crazy this all sounds. There's literally evidence on 9/11 that there was Israeli people on top of rooftops in America, in New York, sitting there celebrating. You can look it up. Israelis celebrating 9/11. I'm not saying Hamas didn't do it too, whoever this is, but they did it too. Like, what are you talking about? Only people that don't know history can fall for this.
Candy. Wait a minute, Mr. Prime Minister, they tell me. Wait a minute. We believe in a two-state solution where the Jewish state of Israel will live side by side in peace with the Palestinian state. There's only one problem with that. The Palestinians, they don't believe in this solution. They never have.
Oh.
They don't want a state next to Israel. They want a Palestinian state instead of Israel. And that's why every time they were offered a Palestinian state, but were required to end the conflict with Israel and recognize the Jewish state, every time, over the decades, they turned it down. And that is why every time they were given territory, they used it to attack us.
Oh, okay. So they use it to attack you, not build their own population or nothing. Let me see. I just got to see what the comments say. Notice who does not leave. UN is a disgrace. This is so satisfying. This is what being brave look like. Oh my God, they got these bots in here. Jesus Christ is the blessing. They don't believe in Jesus Christ. That's the weird thing between like these weird Republican Christians and Democratic Christians. Like somehow they put like the Jews in the Old Testament and like say, oh, like that's the people of God. These are not the Jewish people that were there. Netanyahu grew up in Philly. Like these are not the Jewish people that were there during the Old Testament. And Jesus broke that covenant. If you're a Christian, Jesus broke that covenant. You didn't like he started a new thing, and the New Testament was a whole new thing. Like these Christians like add like, oh, like book 1 was the Old Testament, book 2 is the New Testament. No, that Old Testament is done with. The only thing pastors look at that for is tithing, but it's done with. The new, once Jesus came and the whole thing was like, nah, they good. They good. They my people. They with me. Like, there's no just chosen people of Israel no more. Everybody chosen. Everybody could go there. It's crazy. Makes a lot of sense. Problems will never get solved when you don't at least listen to the folks you disagree with. Exactly. Or you bomb the negotiators. I stand with Israel. He spoke the truth. America should never forget 9/11. Bush did it. It's made by Mossad, and that Mossad did it. Exactly. Never mind. You can't get into the weeds on YouTube, man.
This is sheer madness. It's insane, and we won't do it. Israel. And I instructed our forces to stop the massacre, which they promptly did. Peace between Israel and Lebanon is possible as well. I call on the Lebanese government to also begin direct negotiations with Israel. I commend it for its declared aim to disarm Hezbollah. But we need more than words.
So it's like coming to the table to negotiate with Israel is like, hey, this is what we want. You do it or there's no friendship. They're not negotiating. They're sitting there like a bully, like you do what the hell we say, or my big brother America gonna come shit on you. Like, it's crazy. I don't even watch this no more. Some people gonna hear these clips of this and be like, oh yeah, I stand with Israel. It's not about standing with Israel. The people, 90% of the people in Israel don't even want this. So if you stood with Israel, the people, you would be protesting Netanyahu. They said they want their family members back. They want to stop this. Netanyahu is the only one in his government that's continuing this. The people are protesting him outside. Look up Israeli protests. So if you really stand with the damn people of Israel, then you would be going against Netanyahu because 90% of them do. So you stand with Netanyahu. You don't stand with the people of Israel. Completely different. Like, share, subscribe, all that.